Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again. Another edition of Inside the Headset as we go to West Tennessee in the private school sector. And I've got on the phone with me a very happy Coach Thomas McDaniel as he's sitting at 2-1 and fixing to go into his fourth game with the Purple Wave. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing great, Stork. You?
I'm doing well. Well, I'll let you take it over and take the show over and talk to us a little bit about White Station, the game you got into on Friday night, because it sounds like it was a really close game.
It was. It was probably closer than it needed to be. It was 21-7 at halftime. We had complete control of the game, and you just never know. Talk to them all the time about you never know when you're going to have the impact play to make. That could be the difference, and we just seem to be our own worst enemy at times right now. I think it's stuff that we can get corrected and fixed, but it's just going to take time and more reps and more experience, I guess. But we had several 3-and-outs in the third quarter. One of them, unfortunately, 3-and-outs ended with a punt that hit one of our players in the back of the shoulder pads.
Yes, sir.
And they got the ball back and ended up scoring. So that was disappointing because we had stopped them and made them punt, and then they got the ball back. And then we had 2 interceptions in the red zone. So, you never want to turn the ball over, but obviously when you throw interceptions in the red zone, it's never good. And one of them was really probably our fault, where the quarterback should have gotten the ball out quicker. And
right.
So it was really on the coach. It wasn't on the player. And then the other one was more on the quarterback missing his read and making a poor decision. So something that Owen at this time and experience in his career shouldn't be doing. So, like I said, all that being said, we had a couple miscues, and next thing you know, we were in a ball game.
Yeah.
And fortunately enough, they missed an extra point, made it 21-20. I think it kind of alleviated some pressure, and our offense just drove it right back down the field and scored to kind of finish the game out. But we may have gotten a little too cute at times, threw it a little too much in the third quarter. We were running the ball very well, but we had also connected on a couple big pass plays, and they were playing a lot of man coverage, and we felt like we could hurt them in the passing game. And we did some, but I think we got a little greedy, or I did, and we probably should have established the run game a little more. But when you're not used to clipping off big chunks of offense and you're doing it, you can tend to get a little too aggressive in play calling, and that's just a lesson learned for all of us. So again, we played hard. We're playing tough. It's not like our effort and our want to isn't there. I think our kids' intentions are in the right spot. We just got to keep getting better at the assignments and cleaning up mistakes that we're making at this time.
What'd you feel like you did real well Friday night against those guys, against White Station?
Like I said, we did some good things in the passing game. We threw the ball well at times. We're not as accurate or precise as we need to be, but we were a lot more open in the throwing game. Our personnel change-up on offense was much better. We used a lot of different groupings, and I thought we worked at a pretty good tempo. So those things were a positive. We had a couple critical short yardage situations that we capitalized on in important times. But again, it's just timing and decision-making that we got to get better at. And defensively, we didn't know what quarterback to prepare for. They had a couple really good schemes coming into the game that we hadn't seen, and it took us some time to get comfortable in the secondary. I think our defense is doing a nice job of having a bend but don't break mentality. I think for me right now the problem is we're too good to be bend but don't break. So we've got too many drives that are 3-and-outs against good opponents, and then we've got too many drives that are 10, 12, 14 play drives. And so, we got to do a better job of winning on third down. And, we missed some opportunities on third down. It's not any one person's fault. We got to do a better job collectively. There was one time where we made a bad call on defense. There was one time where we misaligned on defense. So it's any number of things, but we're playing really hard. We're playing with a lot of toughness, but we've just got a long way to go to correcting some of the mistakes that we've got. And again, some of that comes with experience.
Talk to us about your matchup Friday night. Kip Collegiate, Coach Miles and them, and they're at 2-1, or they're at 2-0, and you're at 2-1. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Look at Stork, Coach Miles, huh?
Yeah.
So you did your homework, bud. Kip is a high academic city school. They very rigorous academic curriculum in the city school system. They've done a good job starting off this year, beating East and Oak Haven, I believe. I think last year it was not a very good matchup.
Okay.
I think their kids are much improved from last year, and it should be a game that honestly that we ought to go out and execute, play well, and win pretty handedly. But our kids don't need to hear that. They need to understand that we got to go out and play the game. So hopefully we execute quickly, and we can stay healthy, and obviously get a lot of guys experience on Friday. But some of that doesn't happen if we don't start fast and make sure that we're locked in and ready to play. So it's kind of nice to get a little bit of a breath here. We've had 3 real tough ones. No disrespect to Kip, but they're just a young program, and they're trying to build it right now, and he's done a very good job. They look a lot improved from last year. And then, for us, we need to get healthy because next week we have a team from Louisiana coming in town, and it'll be a big challenge for us. So this game is coming at the right time for us to get some young guys some experience.
And when we say that, Coach, and I catch myself all the time, it's different season, different teams as we go through it, Coach, but at the same time, when there is that talent gap, and your guys on your side of the ball look a lot different than the guys on the other side of the ball. I mean, you can't make believe or dream up, because then you sell your team out and you're telling them, oh, these guys are great, these guys can win the state championship. They start not believing you, and you got to be careful with that, don't you?
No, it's a great point. I mean, I try not to make too much of the big games, and I try to make sure that there's an even kill and a balance when there's games that we have that we're probably outmatching our opponent. I think our kids probably could tell you in our way that we prepare during the week. I would hope they could tell you the difference, because on the weeks that we feel like that we're playing a team that's probably not quite at our level right now, then we're going to work on us and just
right.
Trying to, and that's really what we've done. We had the little bit of a break with Labor Day. We did a lot of fundamentals yesterday. We did a couple combative drills, I guess you would say, some competitive drills, some Oklahoma type stuff, and we're pretty physical. And today, we were doing a lot of good on good perimeter and inside. So, it gives us a chance to be physical in small stints of time and yet still work on our fundamentals. So, our kids aren't dumb. They know our opponents usually, and they watch film, so lying to them is probably not the best option.
Got 2 more things I want to talk to you about. First off, you still have, you're once a Patriot, always a Patriot. You still have some ties to Oakland High School. Been a few things going on here this week. I'd like to give you the opportunity to say anything you'd like to say, Coach, as somebody that was around the program for quite some time here in Murfreesboro.
Right. So, I didn't have I wasn't fortunate enough to coach Michael or the Locklear boy. Obviously, the young man, I forget Locklear's first name, but his older brother, Edwin, is one of my players from 2011, 2010, 2011, safety. Was a safety wide receiver, was a heck of a player and a heck of a young man. He's a model of what you want in a student athlete, and I hate to hear that for his family. And then, obviously, God, it's just hard to imagine, if you're in Michael Roper's family situation right now. But, I've got several relatives of his that I'm pretty close to, and I know that it's impacted greatly. And it's just sad, man. I've was around Murfreesboro for a long time, and you see these kids. They're great kids. They maybe in the wrong place at the wrong time, which it sounds like in this situation is what it was they just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And I don't know in today's time that it could happen to me or you at any establishment that maybe somebody overreacts and does something that we're not even involved in. So
that's right.
It really sucks. I mean, whether it doesn't matter what school it is. I mean, you just don't want to see, a 17, 18-year-old kid's life ended at such a young age. And I mean, shoot, we had one at Christian Brothers last year that graduated and was at a party, and someone, just foolishly, not even thinking about it, took another kid's life, and the kid's gone forever. And there's just multiple lives impacted from those decisions. And unfortunately, in moments, young people don't think about those consequences sometimes. And I don't want to get on a soapbox, but I think between being glorified and I don't know, man, just kids and social media and all the stuff you see, and I'm not acting like video games and all that stuff numb us, but it's just the sensitivity level is just not as high as it used to be, and they don't. A lot of times, I don't think they realize at that moment when they do something like pulling a trigger, just the impact that it's going to have, and it's just really sad.
Absolutely. We'll close out. Coach, what'd you do on Saturday? What'd you put on the grill? I got to get a follow up. I mean, you were talking oysters. We were talking a couple of different things. I saw the TV set up. We are connected and whatnot. What'd you end up doing?
I did oysters. I had 3 TVs, and I did some brats and hot Italian sausage and wings for lunch, and then we did some ribs and greens and mac and cheese stuff for dinner. So food aplenty for all the friends, and we started watching games at 11, and I think I turned the TV off at 10:30 in the evening. So it was definitely a great start to college football. A lot of good games. And it's an awesome time of year. Now if the temperature will just drop another 15 degrees or so, it'll be the perfect time.
Coach, good luck Friday night. It looks like their mascot is the Phoenix, so good luck Friday night.
Look at you. You're all over it, bud. I appreciate it, man. Take care and have a good weekend.
I'll talk to you next week, Coach.
See you, man.
All right, bye.